Under the accrual basis, we record transactions and other economic flows at the time economic value is created, transformed, exchanged, transferred, or extinguished. Let us now examine some general guidelines for the recording of some specific types of transactions and economic flows. We record transactions in goods and non-financial assets when economic ownership changes. Changes in economic ownership depends on the provisions in the sales contract. When the change of economic ownership is not obvious, we can use the moment when the transaction is entered in the books of the transaction partner as a proxy. Alternatively, we can use the moment when the owner acquires physical possession and control of the asset. Transactions in services normally should be recorded when the services are provided. Some services are supplied or take place on a continuous basis. For example, insurance and rental of housing services are continuous flows. They should be recorded continuously for as long as they are being provided. We record distributive transactions at the time the related claims arise. For example, compensation of employees, interest, rent on land, and social contributions and benefits are all registered in the period during which the amounts are payable. In the S&A, we record output over the period in which the process of production takes place. Intermediate consumption of a good or service is recorded at the time when the good or service enters the process of production, as distinct from the time it was acquired from the producer. Some transactions relate to flows that take place continuously or over extended periods. These flows are recorded as being provided continuously over the whole period the contract lasts or the asset is available for use. For example, consumption of fixed capital accrues continuously over the whole period a fixed asset is used. Interest accrues continuously over the period that the financial claim exists. Additions to inventories are recorded when products are purchased, produced, or otherwise acquired. Withdrawals from inventories are recorded when products are sold, used up in production, or otherwise relinquished. Transactions in many types of financial assets and liabilities, such as debt securities, loans, and currency and deposits, are recorded when economic ownership changes. If a financial claim or liability is the result of a non-financial transaction and are not otherwise evidenced, the financial claim is created when the counterpart occurs. Examples of these are the various types of other accounts payable and receivable, such as trade credit and advances, and wages payable. According to the accrual basis of recording, repayments of debt are recorded when they are extinguished, such as when they are paid, or rescheduled, or forgiven by the creditor. Other changes in the volume of assets and liabilities are usually discrete events that occur or accrue at particular moments or within fairly short periods of time. For example, the destruction of an asset by fire happens at a specific time, and the impact of a natural disaster can be allocated to a specific period. These changes are recorded when they occur. Holding gains and losses, or revaluations, often have a more continuous character, particularly in respect of assets for which active markets exist. We should keep in mind that holding gains and losses accrue on an asset or liability for the time the asset or liability appears in the books of a unit. This may be different from the entire reporting period. Therefore, the calculation of revaluation starts when economic ownership of the assets is acquired, the reporting period begins, or an asset is produced. The end point for the calculation will be when ownership is relinquished, the reporting period ends, or the asset is consumed.